So hello everyone in the 5 continents and welcome to another edition of our International English Online webinars. As usual, please let me share my screen so you can see what we are going to do today. Let me go to, oh, I'm sorry, something is wrong here. Let me see. Okay, here it is. And here is the PowerPoint presentation. Welcome to our World Educators community. Today is the August the 16th, 2026, and this is our 151st International English Online meeting. Um, if you want to watch the past webinars, you can watch them in World Educators Community, Jaime Ancajima Peru YouTube channel, or as some people are doing now, you can watch them in my Facebook account, Jaime Ancajima Teacher Trainer. You can watch them now. Somebody please to read this quote. Eliberto, could you please give me a hand reading this quote, please?
Yes, of course. The best way to take care of the future is to take care of the present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh.
Yes. Agree? Disagree?
Completely agree. The
Thank
best
you.
way.
Thank you, Eliberto. The next one, somebody else. Please, Luis, could you give us a hand? Luis?
A man is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it isn't open.
Yes.
Frank Zappa.
Agree or disagree?
No, I completely agree. Yes,
Right.
it's so true.
We need to open our mind, right?
Right.
Otherwise,
Open-minded people will save the world.
yeah. So who are our guest speakers in the rest of 2026? Well, next August the 30th, in 2 weeks, in 2 Sundays, we will have our good friend Rana Bilal Anwar from England, and he will be talking about the story of his life. Then on September 13th, Gabriela Ledron de Guevara from Mexico, she will be talking about reading and writing in English language classroom. Then on September 27th, Monica Rodriguez will be talking about the story of her life. Okay. Then Ofelia Mendoza from Mexico, she will be talking about active L2 fluency, turning classrooms into cognitive playgrounds with songs and games. After that, our good friend Rafael Cervantes from Mexico, from Croc English and More Institute, he will be talking about leadership from the view of English teachers, teaching about life through language. After that, the last webinar of this year will be given and presented by Gracia Mendoza from Honduras and Julio Roa from Nicaragua. They will be talking about the journey of a new master's program, lessons learned. And today we have three beautiful, wonderful, extraordinary guest speakers from Argentina. Lorena Ojeda, Agustina Morena, and Patricia Meriles. Okay, a little bit about Lorena holds degrees in English teaching and in English with a focus on literature and linguistics and a TESOL certificate. With extensive ESL and EFL experience in the US and Argentina, she's an expert in educational innovation and neurodivergency. She has extensive experience in all levels of private and public education. Lorena is 𝐲𝐻𝐵𝐻 Ambassador for Argentina and a member of the 𝐲𝐻𝐵𝐻 Edit. Thank you so much, dear Lorena, for being here with us today. Now, Patricia is an English professor specialized in information and communication technologies applied to education and interculturality. She has 15 years of teaching experience across public and private educational institutions at all academic levels. She holds a bachelor's degree in English Professor, Facultad de Filosofía y Letras, Universidad Nacional de Tucumán, and a higher education teaching specialization in education and ICT, Instituto Nacional de Formación Docente, Ministry of Education and Sports of Argentina. And our good new or very young friend and colleague, Agustina Morena Gaspar, she is an architecture student and she studies at Universidad Católica de Santiago del Estero. So, dear ladies, thank you so much for being here today with us. And the screen is all yours, Lorena, Patricia, and Agustina.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Please let me know if you can see the screen.
Yeah.
Awesome. The presentation. Okay, I think you can see everything, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Patricia, also for being here with me today, and Agustina, and everyone who just joined. I'm gonna do my best to admit everyone. So our topic today is going to be integrated performance assessment. We are going to show you how we implemented this approach, and at the end of the presentation, we'll also make a point on the use of mindfulness in the English class with architecture students at 𝐂𝐝𝐿, and we have the pleasure of having one of our students, Agustina Gaspar, today. And so let's get started. Well, why and how we incorporated, or what was the, IPA? That's what it's typically known for. It's integrated. It stands for Integrated Performance Assessment. It is introduced, or this approach is introduced by 𝐴CTL. For those who don't know, it's the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages in the United States. They develop different standards, performance focus, and this approach and aligned with real-life communication. You can find more information of this approach on the CARLA website. That's the Center for Advanced Research on Language Acquisition. Basically, this kind of like resource paved the way for step-by-step creation. It shows you how to do different steps in the process and how you can design your language assessment. And what we are going to basically show you today is how we went from traditional teaching approach, especially in the ESP world, to like focus not so much or not only or solely on memorization and isolated grammar, but to focus on a standard-based performance assessment that provides a holistic approach and how students can use language, in this case, English, in real-life contexts. So the components of this approach provides you a comprehensive interaction where the main focus is the thematic context. So first, we create the context of the communication in which these different aspects will interact, okay? The number one component is always an interpretive aspect. It's an interpretive task. It could be anything from a text, a video, an audio. So it's basically a resource and it is authentic. It's not a graded text or a graded audio. It's authentic. And it provides your students the inputs that they need. We're going to give you practical examples in a minute. The second component is after the students have been exposed to that resource, let's say, they will interact between each other, and it's a spontaneous negotiation of meaning. They're going to exchange ideas, and we'll provide a guided conversation questionnaire so students can interact and also adopt different expressions. And the third aspect of the task includes a presentational, it's called presentational task or presentational mode. And it's basically how students will present the information, and we provide organized way in which they have to do it, how they basically combine the ideas and the vocabulary, the structure into their production, okay? What happens with IPAs? So, like I said before, it's a holistic approach. It basically mirrors how communication happens in a natural way. and how it is acquired naturally and used in the real world. Okay? So far, so good. So, oops, did I close the...
No.
You can still see. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought I had closed.
No, that's
All
okay.
right.
Everything is all right.
Okie dokie. All right. So what are the components of our, or like, what did we do to start incorporating or adopting this approach into our classes? Designing a thematic unit is basically incorporating what is going to happen in with the content that we share with our students. So what are the requirements of these components in terms of how we are going to design the units? Okay, so first of all, we have to choose a theme. We need to choose an essential question, like what our students are going to do with the language. Okay, it has to have real world relevance over simple vocabulary list. It has to provide them an answer to a specific question. And we are focusing on big ideas. For example, instead of us saying, make a list of houses, is how do sustainable materials shape modern living? That would be an example of an essential question, for example. Another one, step number 2, is the instructional goals. We have to define what our students will do by the end of the unit, okay? And we have to narrow down 4 to 6 goals. So yes, we have to cover specific grammar with the students, but we want to make it functional. Like we want for them to know what they do, how they do it. So it has to include communication aspect, cultural aspect, comparisons, connections, and information related to the community. Okay, so the first example is the thematic unit. Sorry, I have a message here. Okay. Oh. It's okay. I'm sorry. So creating the thematic context. The context is going to start, for example, with this. And I'm going to pass it now on to Patri, that she's going to read this part, which is what is the context that we created, and I'm going to show you the text basically that we just used.
Okay, thank you, Lore. Well, the context is, I'm going to read, you have just entered a university in the United States and are going to be part of a project to analyze the meaning and components of architecture. This context was part of the Unit 1. It was our first encounter with our students, and this is the first interaction that they have with this approach, let's say. So the task they had to do was, your professor asked you to search for infographic related to architecture, and you find this infographic in the university's online library. And we provided this infographic.
Let me second. I'm gonna close the
Yes.
and I'm gonna show you guys what we are talking about here. Sorry. Let's see. Sorry, I made a mess.
Don't worry. This
Don't
would be the
worry, don't
first
worry.
stage. Yes, our interpretative. It would be the input that we provide our students for them to get to know, for instance, the format or the model that an infographic is supposed to have. So we provide an authentic material.
Yeah, I was going to show you. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna open the 5 tabs. Well, let's get to the templates. Can you see? Okay, yes, I can project it now. Okay, so we need people to help us read the infographic. This is the one. Can you see it?
Yeah, now we can see it.
Awesome. Is it too short? Is the font too small?
No, it's okay.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and read it together. let's see. We need volunteers to help us read. It's a short text, but we want to give you the context so you understand exactly what it is. Anyone who would like to read?
Architecture infographic template.
This one,
Customize,
constructing.
customize this architecture infographic to showcase your company's strengths in the
Oh,
field.
yeah. Can you do this one? This one, sorry. Constructing.
Constructing a modern home design. Well, that is now the now it's small. What is modern home design or modern homes have recently been going popularity in the housing market. If you are looking to build a home that is both stylish and unique, then a modern home design may be the right choice for you. While there are many different ways to construct a modern home, there are some guidelines that you can follow to ensure that your home turns out exactly the way you want it.
Thank you, Jaimecito. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank
I
you.
also see
It
my
was a
friend.
challenge for me to read those spots.
I know, I'm sorry.
No,
I see
that's
also,
okay.
I see Rafael is here, my friend Rafa. Are you there, Rafa?
Rafael from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Rafa.
Is he there?
Yeah, he is.
Hey,
Yeah.
hello, sorry.
Hello, Juan
Yes.
Rafael. Good morning.
Rafa, would you do us the honor to read part number 1, please?
Just give me a second. Number 1, you said?
Yes, please.
01. What is modern home design, right?
Yes, please.
A modern home design is a style of home that is typically characterized by clean lines, minimalistic decor, and an overall sleek appearance. Modern homes are often built with energy efficiency in mind, as well as focus on functionality. Many modern home designs also incorporate sustainable materials and building practices into the construction.
Thank you, Rafa. 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵 Roberto, would
Number
you help
2.
us with number 2, please?
Yes, of course. Number 2. What are the key elements of a modern home design? Important elements of modern home design. Number 1, energy efficiency. Consider sustainable materials, solar power, and energy-efficient appliances. 2, minimalistic decor. Use simple furniture and decorations for a clean and cluttered look.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let me see. I see some people also.
We have Ilka
Yeah.
from Ecuador.
Okay, awesome. Can you do us the honor to read it, please?
Yes, sure. I only have, okay, there I have 3 steps. Okay, 03, tips to make your modern home design unique. Key elements of a modern home design. Number 1, sustainable materials. Integrating sustainable materials into your home's construction adds uniqueness and helps the environment. Number 2, solar power. Incorporating solar panels into your home's design promotes a climate-conscious lifestyle. Number 3, energy-efficient appliances. Choose Energy Star certified products to make your home environmentally friendly and save on utility bills.
Excellent. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Yeah,
Irma.
great tips. Thank you.
That's the reason why we wanted to share that with you. Can you see the presentation now?
Not yet.
You mean the new slide?
No. Okay. I think I'm not sharing my screen. I'm sharing my tabs. That's probably why. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So going back to the the aspects that we were talking about. Imagine, so this is the context that you read this infographic related to university. Now, what in this infographic about designing your modern home caught your attention? Like, what was something that you said, oh, I didn't think about that? Let me see your beautiful faces because I don't see you. You can type it in if you want. That's totally fine. Alba, Ana, Andrea, Augusto, Consuelo.
We also have our new friend Marcena from Poland, if you need a volunteer.
Oh, okay.
An official volunteer.
Yes.
Yeah, would you like me to read something? Excuse me, can you repeat that?
Yeah. Welcome, dear Marcena from Poland. Nice to see you.
Yes. Nice to see you all. Great to be here.
The question was like, what aspects of the infographic were something like you never considered, or you were like, oh, I didn't think about that when designing a home? Because of course we're not architects. Agustina is the expert here. But I just wanted to open it for you just to think of like what aspects of this infographic were the ones that were like, something that you didn't consider when designing your modern home.
Well, to be honest, everything is new because I've never designed one. But in Europe, sustainable energy and incorporating solar energy is very trendy and popular. So this was something that I would probably be considering while designing it, and would contact a specialist who would advise me on the right materials.
Awesome. Let me see other people's comment. Thank you so much, sweetie. And that's another important key element that I'm gonna also, here, Eliberto says, using new materials. Monica, the creation of sustainable materials. Eliberto, incorporate solar energy in the construction, and so on. Awesome. So I'm going to show you now. Okay. So can you describe a little bit of what we did, Patri, with this text with our students? What is our process?
Yes, of course. Well, first, as I said before, that the infographic that we provided was the input, and then they had some steps or reading levels that they have to go through. The first one was the global understanding, that is the skimming of the text, that they had to look for what is the main idea in the infographic, for example, features and tips of modern home design. Yes, and then they were supposed to work with the scanning strategy, that is the detailed search. They had to list 2 characteristics of modern design that was provided in the infographic. Then students had to look for vocabulary in context. We consider that it's important for them to work with vocabulary in context, not isolated items. So they were supposed to answer, what does sustainable materials mean in this specific architectural context? Yes, Lorena said it's important that students understand that they are going to work in a specific field. So these terms were supposed to be related to their career. And finally, we asked them for visual interpretation. And they were supposed to answer what design elements visually connect to different sections of the layout. That is the creative aspect of the style or the design of the infographic. And that's what we worked related to the infographic instead. Perfect. Lore?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Patrick. So that is phase number 1. So we provided the context, we provided the task. Part of the task also included critical thinking questions That's some of them are the ones that we were asking you, like, what would you consider? You know, of course, their perspective is different because they are experts. The next step is the interpersonal mode. So basically, like we said before, we have our students pair and work with the classmates and communicate. In this case, because ESP is designed for like text interpretation, the conversations were in Spanish, but the task that they had to complete is like get expressions. Well, I'm gonna give you the next one. Those are the tasks. That was the task number 2 that we designed for. Do you want to read it, Patri?
I'm sorry, I was admitting some people. Okay, in practice, task number 2, as Lorena said, the interpersonal mode. They were asked, the context was the following. You find a classmate and share information on the following ideas you learned from the text. The infographic mentions using sustainable materials. What local materials do you know that could be in a modern construction? Another question, what could be the disadvantages of applying a minimalistic design in all homes? Consider different cultural and social contexts. And the last one, what other elements would you add to the list of recommendations to make a modern design unique, and why? And then they were supposed to write down their answers after they interact in a discussion. And that's phase 2. Lore?
Yes. So that's the part I was explaining, that in this case, the shared communication was done in Spanish because our class is 1 semester class and it's the only English that they have, unfortunately. So we don't have enough time to develop, in this case, speaking skills as we would like to. So that's what we did with phase number 2. And I'm going to show you phase number 3, which is the presentational mode. After they have made their list, what they do is, the idea of that is that presentation could be oral presentation or written presentation. So here you have them producing language for an audience in a planned, organized way. Because it's not interpersonal, there is no immediate feedback. So we have to make sure our students' productions are clear and they have accuracy. And then the structure that we provide them with is followed. So that's kind of like what we did with them. We have to also focus on audience awareness, like who we're going to be doing this production for, and organization is the same as I was mentioning, language control, and that's what we want to replicate with them, like what type of grammar, what type of expressions that are technical in their language, in their expertise, in their area, in the field, and then what appropriate technical terminology they're using. So that's like the presentational mode, and that's what we're going to show now, that Agustina is going to show. Give me 1 second, is her production, like how she completed this task. Give me 1 second. So that it's a second, share it with you. Here. Okay. So August, this is your moment to shine.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. The floor is yours, sweetie. They had to produce a bilingual poster with their design for sustainability. They had to give it a name. They had to make sure they use the technical vocabulary. They had to create a visual for their design, and they had to include the elements, the sustainable elements that they wanted to incorporate. Okay, Okay, Agus, now it's your turn.
Okay. This project was about affordable homes and environmentally friendly solution. And the activity was related to a local design company that organized an exhibition about sustainable construction. One of the topics we could explore was Adobe construction. We decided to focus on this materially and design a house that combined in traditional materials with modern technology and environmentally friendly solution. Our project is called the Sunroot. The Sunroot is a modern house designed to fit naturally into this environment. The floor plan is simple and easy to understand. It was designed for a family of up to 4 people. It has 2 bedrooms, a garden, a bathroom, and a kitchen and dining area. The house is located in the north of Jujuy, for example, in a place like Tilcara, where Adobe construction is part of the local environment. As we can see in the image, we can also identify the many materials and elements that you use in our project. The main idea of our project was to create a comfortable home that respect nature and use naturally resources responsibly. The adobe bricks are made from a mixture from mud, clay, and sand, and they dry in the sun. One important advantage of this material is thermal insulation. It helps keep the house comfortable and reduce the effect of outside temperature. For me, and this part of the project was special, interesting, because I already knew Adobe from my family. My grandmother has a house made of this material. The house has solar panels that capture sunlight and turn into the electricity. We also include a solar water heat. This system can provide clean energy and reduce the use conventional energy source. The roof has slope design that helps make better use of solar energy. Cross ventilation and design of the roof helps improve the airflow and control the amount of sunlight that enters the house. That is important because good ventilation can make the inside of the house more comfortable and cool. It is also a good example of how architecture can use natural conditions inside of depending only of mechanical system. And green walls, the green wall helps keep the house cool, improve quality, and create a strong connection with nature. We wanted the house to feel like it grows naturally from its environment. One of the parts was creating our slogan. It's not the future, it's come and sing. We thought this phrase was funny because it sounds a little ironic. We thought about this idea of if they belong to the future, but then really many of them are simple and logical things that we can today. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Agustina.
Agustina.
That's amazing. Okay, so I'm so happy that Agus was able to present her project. Patri, would you like to share the productions of your, go back to the
I'm not on my computer, but do you have the
yes,
presentation?
yes.
Okay, yes, no problem. Well,
We want to
I
share.
want to, yes. I want to share with you some of the productions that the students from my class, but they were related to the to Unit 5. Unit 5 deals with the time markers for simple past, and they had to recognize also logical relationships that between prepositions and evaluate their community value. And they also had to apply their knowledge on all comprehensive support strategies according to the purpose of the reading. Unit 5, as I mentioned, was focused on biographies, architecture biographies. So their interpretative task was related to, or was framed in the following context. You have to investigate different architects around the world who were pioneers in their fields. And we provided a text from Britannica, yes, Encyclopedia Britannica, and it was about the architect Zaha Hadid. She was really a famous architecture, an Iraqi architecture, and she gave a new design, a new, yes, let's say she was the first one who were about breaking the structures, let's say. So they had to read about her. Once they finished reading and answering all these reading levels, the global questions, they answered the global questions, the detailed aspects, they were supposed to, or they had to fulfill the interpersonal task. And that would be the second phase of our IPA model. That would be working pairs, and they had to ask each other about other prestigious international or national architects, and if they knew about their achievements in the field of architecture. So this would provide a ground, let's say, for them to create their infographics, right? That would be mode 3, the presentational mode. And here you can see 3 examples of the productions that they made, that my students made. And the first one has to do with let me see, it's Rafael Viñoly Viseiro, who is an architect from Uruguay. Then another student chose Amancio Williams, who is an Argentinian architect. And the last one that you have there is Frank Gehry, who was one important architect from Canada. He gave, and students were supposed to provide information, personal information. Then they have to provide professional information about the architect they chose. That would be education, the style, if they work in a firm. Then we asked that they should portray, or they have to include in this infographic on these biographies, major works and projects, the most important, if they had achievements or recognitions, and the legacy and the impact that those architects provided or gave in the field of architecture. And then, Lore, the next one, well, as a requirement for our subject, we asked students for the writing down of the creation of glossarios, right? And here you have some examples of some of my students. Some of them used, editors to create them, and some of them were handmade. But the idea is for them to focus also to learn new vocabulary or the specific terminology that they need in their career to understand text in English, or obviously related to architecture. And that would be some of the examples of my students' productions. Lore.
Thank you, Patri. Thank you for sharing this. Let me see if I have the. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Like,
perfectly.
can you see the website?
Not yet.
You don't see the tab, do you?
No, the presentation is on screen.
Okay. So let's see if I can change it. It doesn't give me I have to stop the share. Sorry, guys.
That's
Not
okay.
very.
That's okay. Don't worry, Lorena.
Okie dokie. There we go. Okay. So we have implemented this approach along our booklet that we have designed. And this is how we have it organized. It might be something useful for you, but we have it like what Agustina presented. The activity number 1 was like part of what students did here. For example, this one was handmade. That was the activity 1 that Agustina shared. That was some of the other activities that her classmates did also, and they designed in their own home. And as you can notice or see here, the recurrence for this area is the use of Adobe. Just like Agustina said, it's part of our culture. It's part of the way in which we live. And so most of the designs that our students presented included Adobe as part of theirs. That's the one that the student presented. And so, something important for us culturally, for example, like, I'm sure in other parts of the world, sustainability would have other types of materials that are local. So that's the beauty of sharing this project with you. And these are other posters that they have to work on, other texts that require the same kind of work. So these are, and then the glossaries that Patri was mentioning also were recorded here. And we also did an activity with, students in architecture use AutoCAD. So we had them also show us how they would use the keys in English, which, by the way, AutoCAD in English provides them with different shortcuts. But if they use AutoCAD in Spanish, they don't have access to certain shortcuts. So that was very useful for them to learn, to use the English version of AutoCAD. So that, that would be awesome. And then this is the activity that Patrick was sharing. That's the students' biographies that they had to create as well as part of unit number 5. Okay. So I think we want to see what people think. I saw important and interesting comments on incorporating this approach in multicultural settings. So I would like to open the mic for questions, because we still have something else to cover, but it'd be awesome to interact with you guys and see what you think.
I got some comments and some questions, but I would like first the people who are present here to make their questions or their comments. But please be brief and go to the point. Do not expand too much, because too long, because everyone maybe wants to participate. So please, anyone in the audience, we got like 24, 23 people here. We have Patricia, Irma, Agustina, Anas, Almasri, Andrea, Consuelo Gallardo, Eliberto, Elizabeth, Fabio Maestre, Fiorella, Gaby, Giovanna, Helen, José Lobo, Josefina González, Juan Carlos Campos, Juan Rafael Cervantes, Leslie González, LP, María Antonia Bettinelli, Marcena Peploska from Poland, Melba, Alayo, Mónica Gandolfo, Rocío, Ruz Díaz Guacha. So anyone, please just open up your microphone and make the question or make your comment, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Irma. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Just two comments. One, thank you. It was clear presentation of how you can plan an ESP class with all the contents and everything. Thank you also because I learned about some details about architecture, and I don't know. I'm not an architecture, I'm an English teacher. And just a comment, it was amazing to see that one of the goals was to prepare, sustainable architecture for the future. But then most of the presentations, I think, including the Adobe, which is something very traditional and ancient. It seems like all our old native people were wise from the beginning. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Congrats. Great presentation.
Yes. Great presentation, Agustina, Patricia, and Lorena. Go on, please, Heriberto. Briefly, your question or your comment, please.
Well, one comment. I just wanted to point out that probably it is not easy the work you are doing at university, because working with students when they don't have enough tools to continue learning and so on is not easy, but you are doing a great job there. Teaching English for specific purposes is not easy because sometimes you need to have certain basic vocabulary, basic grammar structure and things like that, but you are doing a great job. Go ahead. Congratulations.
Yes, I agree with you, dear Heriberto, 100%. Great job they are doing. Yes, they are. Anybody else, please? Yeah, Marcena or Marcena. What is Marcena or Marcena?
It's Marzena.
Margena. Merci beaucoup.
R and Z, it's one sound, j.
J. Margena. Is that okay?
Marzena.
Margena.
It's great.
Beautiful. Okay, Margena.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It was wonderful. I really appreciated the part with the unscripted negotiation of meaning, because I believe that in multicultural and bilingual settings, this kind of exercises are super important for both comprehensibility and influency of the students. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Margena, for your comment. Yeah, anybody else, please?
Yes, I have a question.
Please go on, my dear Jose Lobo.
Yes. What challenges did the presenter encounter when assessing interpretive, interpersonal, and presentational performance?
Yes,
in an
that was my
ESP context?
question, 𝐿𝐶. That was my question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Come on, Jose.
I'm glad it's like it feels like it was scripted. No. What I wanted to share with you is exactly what you guys are asking right now, which is basically like what happens. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just have this problem. Okay, give me a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I want to show you, which is how we assess, right? How we are assessing. Okay. Well, how we are going to assess the rubric. You have the 3 modes, right? We got to do the authentic, the listening, meaning the focus, comprehension, and inference, right? In the interpersonal, we get the interaction with the students, if they speak to negotiate, fluency and reaction. And the presentation, like what students can get from the input that we give them, right? Whether it's either write or speak, and how they organize the information. So we have created the rubrics that are going to help us measure this. We are implementing this year. Last year it was like a test mode basically, and this year we're incorporating and implementing rubrics. And And the key points before I'm moving to that and I answer your question is we normally focus when we do assess our students on what is missing, right? Like what is lacking, what is, but we want to present this approach so you understand that maybe it's good to focus on what we have, So instead of focusing only on structure, also focusing on communication and meaning, that is our priority, and evaluate what our students are actually able to do, okay? And not just what they get wrong, okay? In what is the code of like aligning with the different modes, the criteria in the interpersonal is more spontaneity if you are doing, non-ESP classes, or if you're also working with oral proficiency in the interpersonal, that's your opportunity. The levels, how we are going to use those levels of performance is important, and use those descriptors. In meaning also, how culturally appropriate those meanings are, and the selection. So for us, like for our students, like to pick something that is local was also meaningful, not just because like Adobe, they know the word, but also because it means something that in their case, they connect the Adobe to efficiencies, to like environmentally friendly aspects. And so I'm going to show you the rubrics. Well, this is like what this holistic framework would look like. There are different categories, and you have descriptors for, limited performance, improvement, meets expectations, and exceeds expectations. I'm going to show you the rubrics. Give me a second. And then problems. As I share the rubrics with you, the challenges that we encounter. Give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. Okay. Share it again. Okay, guys, can you see the rubric?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, awesome. So this is the rubric for the interpretive reading. We include as part of the, see if we can make it bigger. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Awesome. So as you can see, so we have, what means to exceed expectations, meets expectations, what is, approaching expectations, but also we included self-assessment. And we expect for this year, when we implement the rubric, is for our students to tell us how they feel in the process, if they can comprehend the main idea, if they can identify most of the details, if those technical principles are clear for them, if they can infer most of the meaning that is in there. And we also teach them, cognates, all post-cognates, if they can recognize most of the vocabulary, such as, say, minimalist, energy efficient, and how successful their task was completed for them, and then we're also going to score it based on the skimming, scanning, critical thinking, and all the other activities that we designed for this phase. For the interpersonal speaking, at this point, we haven't done it. We designed it, but we are, like I told you before, we are not using it yet because we can't have the students communicate in English in this specific context. But for the presentational one, the same, you see here that there is self-assessment, and we focus on clarity, how they use the content, the detail, how accurate the language was in the posters, and if they use technical vocabulary. So those are the areas and the descriptors that we have for assessment. The issues that we encountered last year, that we had to find the best way to assess our students in a way as part of the process. And we're piloting the approach. we encounter, like, for example, oh, we like this text better than this one. So our booklet last year was in process. You know that sometimes we start like school and you provide them with all the materials, and so our students had to be patient with us because we had to like add the materials and design it as we went. And I think it helped us also decide what were the best options for our students. So I'm not sure if I answered the question for you. I cannot hear anyone.
Jose was the one who asked the question, and I was going to add that question, and I guess you did answer the question. I have a question, Lorena, Patricia, and Agustin. Consuelo Gallardo, go on.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. What a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much for sharing. I know it has been challenging for you, especially to invite students to evaluate, to provide some information about the use of English in their specific areas. I'm just curious because you did an excellent job about the rubrics, but I'm not sure if I hear correctly. Did you say that you already use the rubrics with your students or not? Because based on that is my question. If you use the rubrics with the students, I would like to hear what were the students' reactions. If not, I would like to provide maybe a suggestion. Is it possible for you to maybe use this rubric in Spanish? Because you say that it's kind of challenging for your students to understand English in an excellent way. So those could be my questions.
Excellent questions.
Awesome.
Consuelo. Sorry, where are you from, Consuelo?
I'm from Ecuador.
Oh, welcome again. Thank you, dear Consuelo. Please, Lorena, Patricia, Agustina.
You want to answer the question, Patri?
Yes, of course. We haven't done this. We are going to use them this year. So we are going to have that information next year or by the end of the term. But yes, I think that we were missing that aspect of maybe not only in English, but we made add the Spanish version in the rubric. Maybe at the beginning, on the first units, because when we did our booklet or handout, we did the tasks were in Spanish and in English. And as the course goes by, the tasks are all only written in English. So probably as the first stages, we may have the rubrics in English and Spanish, probably Lore, and then we switch it only to English. Thank you for your contribution.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Consuelo. Yes, as Patrick said, that was the goal. We started classes this semester, so we only had 2 classes with our students. And so we are in the works of finishing up the rubrics. That was what we wanted to implement this year. And yes, the idea is to make it bilingual. And like Patrick said, unit number 1 is bilingual. And then from units 2 onwards, the booklet is the instructions and the questions transition to English only. Thank you so much.
Okay. Si me permiten, un par de preguntas en español para Agustina. Hello, hola Agustina.
Hola.
Hola, en general, Agustina, ¿cuál es tu apreciación en pocas palabras de este muy interesante proyecto que yo he querido siempre hacer con mis alumnos de la universidad? Ya llevo 25 años ahí y hasta ahora no lo hago. Pero esto me ha motivado mucho.
A mí, en general, el inglés, tanto en la carrera y apartando lo que estudio, me distrae, o sea, para mí es como una distracción, o sea, a mí me gusta porque me saca un poco de mi rutina. Y a mí me pareció muy divertido cuando la profe me invitó, porque, bueno, por lo mismo, porque es como, no sé, como me hace sentirme un poco más desenfocada y aparte porque no estoy haciendo actualmente deporte y me resulta bastante interesante y desafiante.
¿Y qué sería para ti, segunda y última pregunta, Agustina, qué sería para ti los logros personales que tú has visto respecto al usar el inglés y aplicarlo en tu carrera?
Em, yo creo que lo punto más a palabras de los materiales que nosotros muchas veces usamos en diferentes materias, entonces yo creo que ese vocabulario me ayuda mucho a, no sé, encontrando cuando me mandan a investigar cosas y a veces están los artículos en inglés, me ayuda a orientarme bastante.
Claro,
Así que eso,
ya lo ves más amigable, más comprensible.
sí.
Muy bien. Okay, so going back to, could you please stop sharing, Lorena, so we can have a look at everyone? Okay, okay. Okay, I don't know if somebody else has a question. We have Heriberto, Mónica, Margena, Juan Carlos Campos, hello. Juan Rafael from Mexico, José Isaías from Lobo from Colombia, Melba, Elizabeth, Giovanna, Rocío, Andrea, Fiorella, Helen, Fabio, Gaby, Consuelo, María Antonia, Leslie, Augusto Quispe, Eloy, LG, and the people who are listening to us in Facebook and watching us in Facebook Live. I don't know if you have another question or another comment to make.
Yes,
Hello.
I read a question by Fabio.
Okay, go on. And Leslie and Edilberto, and we finish.
Yes, let me go back to presentation because it looks like it was scripted.
Okay.
Honestly, thank you so much for your question. Let me share my screen. It takes a little longer. Are we there? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So he did ask a wonderful question, and the question was, what has mindfulness? What does it have to do with this? And I wanted to share with you that because we only had one semester in classes with English, it could be a little bit challenging or intimidating to try to cover a lot of content in just one semester. So in order to reduce anxiety and make sure my students felt more prepared and, happy to start, we had like 3 hours of class. We had to I had to find a way to make sure they don't feel stressed out, but at the same time that they can, after a couple of minutes, that they can still focus and make sure that they can adopt and be open to these type of activities and productions that we needed from them. So I decided to implement breathing techniques, and Agus is aware, and she was one of my guinea pigs, and just wanted to share that with you that we started every class. We did different breathing techniques with them, and to set and to get started. It was an early class, 7:30 a.m. class, and it was important for us to keep the focus. So we had 40 minutes, about 40 to 60 minutes, kind of like brain breaks to make sure that the students were ready to start. And we also used them before their tests that they had to do. And probably you guys know about, the importance of incorporating mindfulness, and in this specific case, breathing activities, because you know how it supports our brain function and provides oxygen to our brain, activates part of the brain, supports memory retrieval, helps concentration, reducing anxiety, and it helps us connect ourselves with our bodies. And I always tell them, before a test, even if you feel like a little bit self-conscious about, doing it in front of everyone, just go to the bathroom, do your breathing exercises, and then get into your test, or even for studying. So that was what we, wanted to share in terms of why we're using mindfulness in the class. And just to end, giving you some takeaways with IPA, like questions for you to think about, like how or when you could pilot an APA this term is, maybe just an activity, start, just with one aspect and then move transition. It doesn't have to be a full implementation. We implemented this approach very carefully and slowly, and it worked, and we are really happy. And we are doing now this year the rubrics, how this IPA can help your student develop their language skills and cultural understanding, how this IPA changed the way your students view assessment, because as you see, it's it's a process. It's not rigid. It's part of the learning process. And just a reminder, we can teach grammar all we want, but if we don't speak to people, we haven't learned the language. And language is not just words, it's culture, it's tradition, unification of a community, and a communication tool, just to quote Mr. Noam Chomsky. And thank you so much for your time. I see people raise their hands, so I'm gonna stop the share.
Yeah, before I said just two more people because I have to cook. I have to do the cleaning. I don't know about you, but I do the cooking, I do the cleaning, I do everything as I should
We
do,
too.
as you should do. So let's take a few minutes with Eliberto, Leslie, Juan Carlo, and Fabio, and then that's it. But please be brief and go to the point. Please, Eliberto.
Yes, no, I just wanted to ask if architects can apply and use the materials not only in building houses, but also in building buildings, right? So do they
Okay.
apply the same material and things like that?
Okay, anybody, please, of the speakers?
I think Agustina is the most qualified person to answer that question.
Okay, if you want to use Spanish, Agustina, that's okay. This is not your English class.
Repeat.
Ya, si los materiales,
Si los materiales,
Eliberto, si los materiales,
Si los materiales que se usan para construir casas y la forma como los arquitectos lo usan también se pueden utilizar en construcción de edificios, porque a veces es un poquito más complicado en los edificios que en las casas, porque habría que construir en la parte superior, por ejemplo, los paneles solares y todo esto para que pueda refrescar los edificios.
ok, ok, Agustina,
el adobe yo creo que está descartado porque, no sé, las viviendas acá son de una planta de ese material, pero también tocamos lo que eran los muros verdes, eso sí, para edificio. Más que nada porque lo que pasa es acá mucho de que tenemos acá sismos, entonces tenemos que cuidarnos las zonas, entonces por ese lado tiene que verse en qué lugares sí está apto, porque no se puede hacer en todo.
ok, Agustina, thanks. Leslie Gonzalez, please go on briefly, please, Leslie.
Good morning here. Thank you for the past. I have a question, maybe a little bit far of the topic, but how we as English teachers we can know about the concept of maybe the career. I don't know if yes, because we are English teacher. Yeah, I know we know English, but how I know about architecture, like Agustina, engineering, because I was teaching particular classes and I was like, oh my God, I need to study again. So that is my question.
Excellent question, Leslie. Where are you
Okay.
from, Leslie?
I'm from Peru,
Oh, what part of Peru?
Lambayeque.
Lambayeque, Chiclayo. Oh,
Yes,
el Papa is going to visit you in Lambayeque. You are lucky.
yes,
He's not
yes.
he's not coming to Piura. Okay, so the question, Lorena, Patricia, Agustina.
Okay, I'm going to answer.
Okay, briefly
Well,
remember,
you have to
Patricia.
prepare. For instance, when we learned that we were going to be in charge of architecture classes, the first thing you have to learn is the plan de estudios, that you say. You have to know what subjects they had already have, because that's the schemata, let's say the previous knowledge that they bring to English classes. So if we are going to use some specific terminology, we have to be sure that students know that from their Spanish classes of the career, from any career. I also teach in engineering, so I had to prepare beforehand, knowing what subjects, what are the minimum content that they had or they already know for me to prepare the material.
Yes, congratulations, Patricia. Juan Carlos Campos, go on. Briefly, please, Juan Carlos, I have to
Yeah,
do the
thank you.
cooking.
Actually, thank you, Jaime. That was actually quite my question. I wanted to ask what type of advice would you give to teachers who don't have the knowledge about the career or the major of the students, right? So what other advice? Because it's a fascinating topic, and I keep listening to teachers to say, no, I don't want to go into business English because I don't have the knowledge. But then you realize that you just don't have to be an expert in
Right.
their career, in their area of expertise. You just need to focus on one single thing at a time, one session at a time, and
Right.
leave the rest for later, when the time comes. So any other piece of advice that you might share?
Yeah, for instance, we thank you. We have a form, a Google form, where we ask students if they have previous knowledge of English, if they went to a technical school, because some of them, they may have already the experience of technical English for translation. So that would be more easy. It would be easier for them to follow up the exercises, for instance. Oh, the needs analysis is also really important for us in order to plan our classes.
Okay, thank you so much, Juan Carlos. And the last, sorry?
Another important aspect,
Oh,
Juan
sorry.
Carlos, is, and that's something that I wanted to bring to Patrick's attention after my second class, is that some students also at university level, and it's something not related to the knowledge of the career itself, but it's like about the neurodivergencies that they might have. Sometimes we don't include that. I have a student with dyslexia, and so along with adapting the materials, like creating the materials, now we have the new challenge, let's say, to adapt all this and make it friendly for my student, like dyslexia friendly. So we have to change now the font of the text, and also remember, like, modern home design. So we have to make it like larger, so our students have a good time reading accessing the information. So that's another aspect that we also need to consider. And with Patricia said, the needs analysis is a great tool to understanding previous knowledge, but also any neurodivergency that our students might have that we need to definitely know beforehand so we can plan and prepare.
Yeah. One of the takeaways from this presentation is that we, university professors, we don't need only to teach the language or communication, but also guide our students to use the new knowledge that is English also in their schools, careers, professions, subjects, and everything else. So thank you so much, Lorena. And the last question, there was a hand, Fabio Maestre, please. Hello, Fabio. Fabio, still around?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Please, briefly, Fabio, I have to cook.
Okay, yes, I wanted to
Margena doesn't
congratulate,
believe me.
I wanted to congratulate the team because you're doing a very great job. I try to do something similar with my secondary students, but their English level was very, very, very low, and
Keep on
almost
trying, Fabio. Keep on trying.
yes, I continue to try, and well,
Please.
this encouraged me to continue working on that. Okay,
Where are you from, Fabio?
I'm from Colombia.
Oh, what part of Colombia?
I live between Coveñas and San Antero.
Okay. We hope to have you in our next presentation. Thank you so much. And before the final words today, thank you, of our speakers, remember that on August the 30th, at the end of the month, We will have Rana Bilal Anwar. He will be talking about the story of his life. Rana Bilal Anwar. He will be visiting Colombia in September for the conference organized by Universidad de la Amazonía in Florencia, Caquetá. Well, dear Lorena, Patricia, and Agustina, congratulations. I feel that I know nothing about English because your presentation show us that you are doing a great job, that you need to study, you need to learn new vocabulary, you need to be prepared, you need to read different documents, and the most important, you need to give more time than us just teaching routines, future plans, experiences, and the grammar and the vocabulary. So time for you to say goodbye, Agustina. If you want to use Spanish, no problem.
Thank you and invitation. Fine.
Thank you.
Good.
Come back and return, dear Agustina. Patricia.
Yes, thank you for having us. It was a pleasure to share our experience. We are in progress also. So we hope when we have all it run it out, or when we finish our not finish, we're never finishing anything, but when we consolidate this approach with our class, we'll share it again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And something very important, Patricia, Lorena, Agustina, you are motivating other professors, other teachers like me or Fabio. He wrote, I try to implement some English classes combining communication and entrepreneurship at English class secondary level, and my students at 10th grade tend to use translator, but so bad that even as they have bad Spanish spelling, the text related to business design and presentation they created were not even understandable in English. But keep on trying, dear Fabio, and maybe someday you will be presenting here, telling your story. And finally, Lorena Ojeda, time for you to talk. Thank you, Fabio.
Thank you, everyone, for coming together, for having us. And yeah, I mean, that's what we have. And the good thing about this project is like we keep, it's a live it's a live entity, I would say, because our students are live beings. So we nurture it with their experience, with their input, and that's what we do. And sometimes if we went, for example, for AutoCAD, we ask our students, like we ask them what stuff they were doing or what were they having a hard time, and that's why we decided to incorporate that. And so always ask your students, because they are the best resource for you to know exactly what they need. And just try simple steps, like even if you start with expressions, we start sometimes
Baby
with,
steps, right?
Exactly. Yes, we started with
And
noun phrases,
yes,
things that are similar to Spanish, and
yeah.
that's how we progressed. And I'm sure, and I hope you can take some of it and take it to your classes and
Yeah.
make sure maybe we share it next time
And
how you did.
remember this, right? Make your dreams happen.
Yes,
Right? So
definitely.
yeah, definitely. So thank you, dear Agustina. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you, everyone here in the audience, in the Zoom link, and also the people who were listening to you and to me in Facebook Live. And congratulations. Something else that I was forgetting, dear Lorena, Patricia, and Agustina, the use of mindfulness before exams, before classes, the techniques and activities for the students to breathe properly. It's also very, very important because we are human beings and everyone is afraid, nervous, anxious. So, congratulations for that, for connecting the human side of the students in your classes. Thank you. So, time for me to say goodbye. So let's see. So thank you, everyone, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Goodbye. I have to do the cooking, the washing, and the and the cleaning. Marjana, you don't believe me, do you?
I do believe you. I just love the comment, the reason.
Goodbye, Juan Carlos, Heriberto, Agustina, Patricia, Lorena, Melba, Mónica, José, Rocío, Elizabeth, Consuelo, Gaby, Fabio, María, Eloy, Leslie, María Antonia, Gela, and Augusto 𝐒𝐶𝐵. Have a nice weekend.
The same. I have
The
to do the
same.
same too.
Okay, bye bye,
Bye.
Heriberto.
Take care.
Take care.